You know that feeling when you're working so hard, just constantly pushing, but it feels like you're not actually getting anywhere? Like you're swimming against the current instead of riding it? Well, today we're going to look at a powerful way to flip that script entirely. It really boils down to two completely different ways of operating. On one side, you've got the reactive workhorse. This is the person who's always busy, always seems to be fighting the flow, just following somebody else's instructions. But on the other side, you have the intentional designer. This person gets the why behind things. They understand the principles and they find the path of least resistance. The question is, which one do you want to be? So let's start by naming the problem. It's something so many of us experience, and the source material for this calls it the modern trap. That's a perfect name for this feeling of constantly pushing water uphill. And this isn't just some abstract idea. It comes from the very real story of a guy named Graham Farrer. He was a horticulturalist, knew all the techniques, could work like crazy. A 12-hour day was nothing. But when his personal life completely hit a wall, he had a tough realization. He had no defense. He didn't have a shield to protect his own energy. And that's a question we should probably all ask ourselves, right? It is so easy to become that workhorse, just saying yes to everything, leaving ourselves wide open to every single demand that comes our way, until we just burn out. Sound familiar? So how do we build that shield? How do we protect ourselves from that burnout? Well, it all kicks off with a really big shift in how we think. It's about moving away from just collecting a bunch of techniques and really starting to understand the core principles behind them. This quote right here just nails it. Technique is cheap, principles are priceless. So let's really dig into what that actually means because it's key. Okay, so a technique, it's just a specific how-to. Think of it like a recipe for a cake. It can be super useful, right? I mean, it's great to have a good set of tools, but if you only know how to follow recipes, you're just a laborer. The moment the ingredients change or you don't have the right size pan, you're stuck. Principles, though, that's a whole different game. Principles are the why. They're the science behind why the cake rises. When you understand the principles, you're not just following instructions anymore. You become the designer. You can adapt, you can innovate, and you can create a system that truly works for you. And this brings us to the most powerful tool for becoming the designer of your own life. This is the shield we've been talking about. It's the filter that helps you decide where to put your most precious resource, your energy. The idea here is to use a tool from a really amazing design philosophy called permaculture. It's all about creating sustainable systems. And at its heart are three core ethics that we can use as a personal decision-making filter. It's simple, but man, is it profound. So here's how it works. Before you say yes to anything, a project, a social event, whatever, you run it through three gates. Picture every demand and task falling into this filter. First gate, earth care. Is this regenerative or does it deplete? Second, people care. Is this good for my health, my well-being, my relationships? And third, fair shares. Is there a reasonable limit here? Is the return I'm getting worth the energy I'm putting in? If it can't pass all three, it doesn't make it onto your to-do list. Simple as that. All right, that all sounds fantastic in theory, but how do we actually start doing this in our ridiculously busy lives? That's where this simple 3-2-1 action plan comes in. It's all about putting these principles into practice right now. Okay, first step in the plan. It's all about the number 3. So here's your mission for this week. Pick your 3 biggest commitments. You know the ones, the things that eat up most of your time and your energy. And I want you to run each one through that 3-part ethical filter. Is it good for the planet? Is it good for people? And is it a fair exchange of energy? The rule is tough, but it's simple. If it doesn't pass all 3, it doesn't get your energy. Next up in our action plan, let's focus on the number 2. For this one, you're going to take just one single principle. Let's use a great one. Minimum effort for maximum effect. And you're going to apply it in 2 different zones. First, zone 0. That's your internal world, your mind, your schedule. Ask yourself, where am I just pushing water uphill for no reason? Then look at zone 1, your immediate surroundings, like your home or your garden. Where can you make one small change to work with the natural flow instead of fighting it? And that brings us to the final step. The easiest, but maybe the most powerful of all, the number 1. This is it, the absolute first step. Just identify one of those unspoken modern rules that just saps your energy. Maybe it's the pressure to reply to every email instantly. Maybe it's the idea that your house has to be perfect all the time. You don't have to fix it yet. You don't have to do anything about it. Just name it. Recognizing it is the first
biggest win.
When you start putting these little pieces into practice, you're doing so much more than just managing your time better. You're actually changing your role. You're shifting from being a passive workhorse to an active designer who is weaving their own web of resilience. And this is the ultimate goal. I love this quote because it says everything. Abundance is design. Abundance isn't about working harder or having more stuff. It's about designing an intelligent system where you and everything around you can thrive without all the struggle. So the final question is really just for you. Now that you've seen the trap and you've seen the tools to get out of it, are you ready to stop pushing water uphill? Are you ready to start designing a life that actually flows with you instead of against you?